if you're on a panel, there's by nature going to be other people that are also speaking on said panel, and maybe there's a theme, right? Maybe it's around practice management or marketing or litigation or trial skills, etc. You're typically booked along the lines of a certain theme, and then you have an interviewer who is asking each person questions. Now, depending on the quality of the interviewer, you may or may not get a ton of questions because they want to be able to ask everyone a question, and then people are going to give different lengthy answers. So my recommendation to maximize the value that you get out of being on a panel is to provide valuable insights to the audience, okay? This is not the time to sell yourself. This is not the time to sell anything, any service, any product. Ironically, if your goal is to be able to get some value out of this for yourself, right? So meaning that, let's say you want to get referrals from other lawyers, or let's say you want to sell your service or your product, the best way to do that is by not selling your service and your product and instead providing actual insights that can be helpful to people and not asking for anything. Meaning that when they call on you, give the answer that like you would want to hear and like what actually be valuable for someone if they wanted to undergo, whatever the question is, how someone should approach it. And if they wanted to do it themselves, how they should do it themselves. And also be succinct and be concise. And at the same time, this is not the time to try to one-up other panelists and try to make yourself look better than somebody else. I think if you bring humility, like audiences can really see through a lot of that stuff. So you don't have to play this ego game or anything like that. Just when you're asked a question, try to provide the most valuable answer to someone. Don't hold anything back. There are no secrets. In fact, if you have secrets, share the secrets and just be valuable and insightful. The interviewer will appreciate that. The audience will appreciate that. That's probably going to lead to you being booked in more in the future. But if you want to screw this all up, do the opposite of everything I've just said, okay? Like compete with the other panelists for time and attention. Try to one-up other panelists. Try to be argumentative with, other panelists. Try to make yourself out to be some sort of hero. Try to sell your product or service. You do all those things, you're never going to be invited back. And honestly, it's not going to be a good return for you anyway because the audience is going to be turned off. So again, I think the best thing to be is genuine and authentic and transparent and bring humility. And also when you're answering questions, try to like experience share in your answer. So like actually sharing, well, here was my experience with this. Here's how I went about this. Here's what I learned. And that way, if you're telling a story, there's some sort of narrative that goes along with it that can be helpful for people too. It's a great way for people to learn. And that you could back this up instead of just saying yes, no, or any sort of like short answers. That kind of disrespects the whoever's doing, the interviewer. Just because they say, okay, great, this person just gave me a short answer, but we still have another 30 minutes on this panel, so I need to be able to move on to the next person. And I'm probably not going to call on this person again because they're giving me terrible answers. So provide valuable answers, keep it short and concise, right? Just to a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes, something like that. Be insightful and valuable to your audience.